Hi guys, I'm Shmee, and hello squad, welcome back where you've joined me for an AMG afternoon. We're going to jump into my GTR and head over to the Mercedes-Benz Museum, where there is a special exhibit for the 50th anniversary of AMG, so we can check out a little bit of the history of where my car has come from, all the way through to having another look at the AMG Project 1, the hypercar, coming very soon. Now today I'm at Daimler. I've been driving a couple of other cars as well, like, to give it its full name, the GLC 63S 4MATIC Plus Coupe. Yes, complicated, but check the video on that. I was really interested driving that car and whether it could be an interesting proposition for my daily driver here in Germany, and I've also been filming with the new CLS as well. First look at the brand new car, so have a look at those videos if you haven't already, but for now, let's jump into the GTR. We've got a little drive over from here to the museum to take a look at some rather nice cars inside. Is this a daily driver or what? It is in dire need of a clean with all of this grime absolutely everywhere. I've done nearly 2,500 kilometers in it and it's not been washed once since I got this car. So it needs a proper clean up. But let's jump in, listen to the noise of the start, because it is just the most epic sounding engine ever, the 4-litre bi-turbo. And actually, it's a shared engine from this car to that one as well, which sounded awesome too. Let me step in and then we'll get on the way. It's go time. Down into the Stuttgart Valley we go. So this town is either side of this crazy valley, and basically Mercedes takes over pretty much half of it. You've got Sindelfingen, where the customer experience centre is. You've got the museum where we're heading now in the town centre, and then you've got the Daimler offices where we were with the press cars just now. The GTR, the way the steering works around these kind of corners driving down here is just awesome. And I lied a little bit, it's got 2,800 kilometers now on the clock, so it's well and truly running. We can pop and crackle to our heart's delight and have some fun. It's tunnel time! Who doesn't love a tunnel? And what I like the most about this car is if you downshift, that's when you get the burbles, crackles, and crazy noises. The Mercedes-Benz Museum. Now naturally, I have to line this car up for a photo, and right there we have an SLS Gullwing, which of course was, I suppose, the spiritual predecessor to this car, the first AMG exclusive product. We're going to go in the museum. Also up in front you can see there is the dealership, but I'm going to sneak through here because we've got to get a picture of this car up in front of the museum and the AMG flags that you will find right around the corner up here. Then we'll go park afterwards, but it has to be done. There is no question that that car sounds epic, but I best park it up. We're going to head inside the museum and take a look at the 50 years of AMG. I'm not gonna lie, I had no idea how large this museum is. They have over 1,000 cars, 180 of them are on display right now. There's a few special exhibits. We're gonna go to the AMG exhibit in a moment, but just to start off, we're next to the SLS Electric Drive. This was one of the first cars I actually remember making videos of at a motor show, although it was a chrome blue version, but the full electric SLS AMG, and obviously the SLS was the first actual AMG car made by just AMG for Mercedes. However, we're gonna skip ahead right now and come over to the AMG room and prepare to be amazed, because there are some awesome cars in here. Welcome to the world of AMG, and prepare to feast your eyes over this room and some of the highlights in here. You can see the Project 1 hypercar in the center, a lineup of the racing cars here, the GT3 car, the 300 SEL, a CLK GTR there at the end. At the back, all of the AMG GT R display where you can see some of the internals of my car, which is kind of cool as well. And then over here, some of the most significant AMG cars, including right there at the back, that Solarbeam yellow SLS Black Series, which is the very car that I drove and fell in love with it. So let's come in and beeline straight to the Project 1. First stop, Project One, the car that was revealed a few months ago at the Frankfurt Motor Show that's going to bring the World Championship winning Formula One engine to a car that is road legal. It features the 1.6 litre turbocharged V6 that comes from the 4 times winning Mercedes AMG Petronas Formula One team's car. It was presented to the world being driven on by Lewis Hamilton at the Motor Show. He won 3 of those championships, Nico Rosberg the 4th, and just look at it coming around this car. It has an F1 engine in a car that's coming to the road. 275 of them, it costs a couple of million, and this particular model right here was one of the earlier concepts. It's very much the same car that we've seen, but was signed off by bosses at Mercedes and AMG and Daimler to bring it and make it actually happen. But look around it. It's carbon fibre, it's lightweight. Have a look at the way the roof scoop blends into the shark fin at the rear. This rear wing has all sorts of levels of active aero we've only seen small bits of so far. Coming down to the back, look at the exhaust pipes back here, just like the Formula One car. One large centre pipe on top, and then down below 2 smaller ones as well, flanked by the craziest of diffusers with so many fins that actually you can see straight through it as well. It's active aero everywhere, all sorts of parts that are added, carbon fibre, the whole body is carbon fibre. Take a look at these wheels. They have this cover almost on them for efficiency, but also for cooling the pretty intense carbon ceramic brakes that are going to be running inside there. It's completely open here behind the front wheels as well for cooling airflow again around the car, getting everything in. I'm going to have a quick glance at the way the glass panel, the Perspex panel works over the top of the engine bay at the back as well, with the suspension that you can just see peeking through. There's even a Stig inside as well, ready to drive it, but you just walk around this thing and it looks crazy. I cannot wait to see and hear more of it when these cars are out on the road. Down at front, I like the way the painted AMG logo is there on the front radiator grille. The actual Mercedes logo, if you didn't know, was painted onto the front of the car for weight saving, of course, but the thing is just crazy. Oh, I can't wait to see more of those. I'm going to move from there over towards this GTR exhibit, given how topical it is to my car and the theme of this video. And of course, on the right, we have the launch specification for the car, presented in Green Hell Magno. The beast of the Green Hell, after all, developed at the Nürburgring, nicknamed the Green Hell itself, due to incidents that have happened there in the past. Those are actually the wheels I have on my car before I painted them with the black, or the full black stripe all the way around, rather than having that silver rim, which I felt made them look a little smaller. And seeing the car, I'm kind of glad that I made that choice. Although the green is cool, but a lot of people have ordered green. What's nice here though is to see the frame, what it looks like inside, the carbon fibre panels. Look at the way the raw carbon panel works when it's not finished with beautiful weave that you're perhaps more familiar with. Car also has carbon roof, carbon wing, all sorts of carbon parts, including on the powertrain unit here, the carbon prop shaft up through the centre. You can see the 4-litre bi-turbo engine that runs up front. Those ginormous ceramic brakes. I have the regular brakes on my car, through towards the titanium exhaust system at the back, and you can see a little bit about this and why when I say there's no point in changing the exhaust on the back of my car, because literally if you have the valves open, it's coming out of those side pipes and there's no back box. It's pure noise and volume. Nice to see that and be able to understand a little bit more about it. Swinging around this way, the SLS Black Series in Solarbeam Yellow, the SLS Black Series that I test drove earlier this year. The first time I drove one, it was this exact car on the roads around the Nürburgring during the N24 race. And basically, it's the car, the SLS GT3 race car, reversed for the road rather than a regular SLS made more hardcore, and it feels it. The turn in and control in this thing is just phenomenal, and in that colour, Solarbeam Yellow, it's gorgeous. What a car. Then we've got a couple of other AMG products around. We've got the SL55, the first SL model created by AMG with Mercedes. Of course, this is their AMG's 50th anniversary. Mercedes have been around for a lot longer than that, more than a century. And a number of other models. The C36 Amg, I think from a little bit earlier, maybe mid-90s, was that one of the first times AMG were let loose to create a Mercedes product developed with the 6-cylinder inline engine. Then we have the Hammer. The Hammer is pretty famous. 6-litre V8 in there, named the Hammer due to basically what it was capable of, how it was a rather hard-hitting machine. In fact, that was named, it's a translation thing, but in German, the Hammer, literally. Then behind that, we have the E50 AMG, so a nice little lineup there. Seen a couple of the Black Series models and things before, but if I swing the camera this way to the race cars. First up, this one is a car that I watched win the N24 last year, 2016. That car came in first place, overtaking on the final lap. Although, actually, Mercedes and AMG swept the board that year. 7 of the top 10 spaces went to AMG GT3 cars. I think they had 1, 2, and 3, actually, in the end of the day. But that was the winning car. This one won the car, won the race, 24-hour race. So nice to see it. It's been cleaned up, clearly, since then, though. You can see it is not quite so beaten up as these things look at the end of their races. Then next, after that... Oh, actually, one thing. Side exit exhaust. Beast. Sounds so good. Next car, rather famous one. The 300 SEL, named the Rote Sau, which translates to the Red Pig. It was actually the first car that AMG built on a Mercedes product. So the 300 SL is a luxury saloon car, as you can see, but they transformed it into this race car in 1969, went out, had some success with it, and really proved that they were worth something to Mercedes. So 2 years into their history, 1969, when they were founded in 1967, this came along, and even to this day, it just looks really cool. But beyond that, one that's rather special to me, the CLK GTR, the 1997 FIA World Championship, GT1 World Championship winning car, winning model, of which a series of road cars spawned, 25 road cars based on the CLK GTR. Really, I mean, I don't know, but this was, I guess, my poster race car when I was younger. Look at the scoop on the top, how it sticks out over the front of the windscreen. The thing is just mental. If you see a road version, can you actually like picture that as a road car? It's just pure race car, pure menacing savagery that somebody decided it was going to be okay to stick a number plate on. But anyway, that happened, that exists, and this exhibit is crazy. And this is just a small section of what is actually in this whole room. I think flagshipped by the Project One here in the centre, which I cannot wait to see more of and see the final version of it. Still technically in concept form, the Project One, but as that word says right there, this is the future. 1,000 odd horsepower from the F1 V6 combined with hybrid battery tech. Had a good look at the powertrain that runs beneath this once before now as well. So basically, if this room hasn't been absolutely awesome for you, you're clearly not a big enough AMG fan. But let's go exploring what else there can be found in this museum. This place, though, it's heaven. Have a look at this display, and we're only touching on the surface of the cars that you have here. SLS GT3, another CLK GTR up there at the back, of course the familiar Formula 1 car down there at the front, even some racing trucks. This extends and extends, but a really cool view from above. If you want special though, have a look here. Going from the 2016 F1 car back a little bit, 300 SLR, 300 SL Gullwing, gets even further to the older Formula 1 cars. This is a rewind in history, back in time around there, but my goodness. This is how engineers used to gather data from testing. So before you could stick in the passenger seat a computer connected to an OBD port, there are literally cables running to the car behind that engineers could sit in and monitor the data. So pressure on the guys driving to make sure they don't have a little shunt. But that's fascinating. I'd never seen that before or knew that's how it used to be done. The last bit of the museum to have a look at right now, the 300 SLs, and in particular, one of the final cars, one of only 2 Uhlenhauts that exists, an even faster version of the 300 SL, 2 made because it was intended to go racing, but that never happened. But this is basically the fastest thing you could imagine from that time, more than the Bugatti of the day. And then behind that, 300 SL Roadster and the beautifully iconic 300 SL Gullwing that we know and love in the traditional iconic silver and red interior. Such a lovely, lovely thing, and every time I see one I think it's just so beautiful to look at as a car. The Gullwing. Well, I'm departing from the museum, but I cannot get my head around how much there is actually to see in there. We've only touched on the surface on it because I wanted to focus on AMG. But there are 7, I think, levels of cars and exhibits and things to see in this museum. Incredible place. We're going to head back now to my GTR and drive back towards Frankfurt for this evening, a couple of hours with the evening traffic, bit of Autobahn, and a car that is running. I can drive on the Autobahns with a car that's running, although it's wearing winter tyres, which limits the speed with which you can drive. However, nonetheless, it's been a pretty fun day, and that was a very spectacular place to stop and look at. Grumble, grumble. Right. Off we go. Oh, doors. You do have to give it a good slam in this car. Well, it's a wet and gloomy evening, but we're blasting up the Autobahn, getting to enjoy some of this. The noises are just getting better and better as the car gets more and more driven with the titanium system. quite full pelt right now, but unfortunately it's a little bit too busy to fully go for it this evening. Maybe we'll get a run to 200 at some point, but otherwise, just enjoy the noise. Well, there we have it, an awesome day, very AMG filled, but great to see Project One again and some of the historical Formula One cars as well. Really special stuff at the Mercedes Museum, but obviously for me, any opportunity to drive the AMG GTR on the Autobahn is a very good one, even if it's slightly damp and there's lots of traffic. But now that this car is running, that means fun times ahead, lots of opportunity to enjoy it, get the diff oil service done as soon as it gets back to the UK, I think. And then it's going to be track days, misbehaviour, lots of fun and antics to come. So thanks very much for joining me today, guys. I hope you've enjoyed the look at the history of AMG in a nutshell in one room there. I've had an awesome time visiting Mercedes, so check out the other videos if you haven't already. But as always, thank you very much for watching, and I will be sure to catch you again very, very soon. Cheers!